I was shocked to discover that the brain-damaged patients in the hospital who had lost consciousness could actually walk a few steps on their own. Seeing this situation, I immediately understood that these patients seemed to be able to produce weak, conscious responses as long as they had external assistance. I immediately helped support patient Ellie to continue moving forward, but she just froze there completely motionless. This really confused me. I thought she wanted to drink water, so when I brought water to her, she showed no response whatsoever. I couldn't understand why she was acting this way, or why she had been able to walk just moments before. Just as I was puzzling over this, I accidentally spotted children downstairs playing hopscotch. Suddenly it clicked. The reason Ellie had stopped was because there were no grid patterns on the floor anymore. To test my theory, I quickly drew grid patterns on the hospital floor. When I helped support Ellie again, she was actually able to walk all the way to the window. Seeing this result, I was certain these patients really did have consciousness. To awaken their awareness, my colleagues and I began searching for the type of stimulation each patient needed. During this process, I discovered that some patients could feed themselves just by listening to music, while others could walk independently with just a little support. Seeing this progress, I was convinced these patients could be cured. I started looking for treatment methods. Just when I was completely stumped, I attended a new drug launch event. This new medication contained a special component that could stimulate the brain to produce dopamine. Hearing this news, I immediately had an idea. I went straight to the hospital director and proposed using a few patients for trials, but the director would only allow testing on one patient, and we had to get family consent. Hearing this requirement, I immediately found a patient's family member and explained the situation to her. After listening, the family member readily agreed to the trial. I then began treating the patient using this method. Initially, he showed no response at all. I thought this approach wasn't working. But that evening, I was amazed to discover that this patient had actually disappeared. When I found him, I realized he had regained consciousness and could even write his own name. In that moment, I understood the trial had succeeded. The next day, I reported the results to the director. With the director's approval, I used this treatment method on all the unconscious patients in the hospital. Eventually, all the patients regained consciousness. I felt incredibly relieved. But what I never expected was that shortly afterward, the first patient I had cured, Jason, suddenly started having seizures. The situation kept getting worse and worse. Seeing this condition, I continued giving Jason the medication. But this time, even when I increased the dosage, Jason showed no response. Only then did I realize that these patients hadn't truly recovered. Their previous return to consciousness was completely the result of the drug stimulating their brains. But this medication had side effects. The patients had developed resistance to the drug. No matter how much medication I used, they could never regain consciousness again. Only then did I understand that I had completely failed.